Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Be Live. I'm your host, Terry Bridgeforth, and tonight I have a very special guest, good friend, family member, hardworking, educated, beyond talented, Mr. Johnny Sensei. How you doing, sir?
Ooh, ooh. Doing amazing. I'm doing. I've never felt better. Yeah.
So, just like any other interview, we're going to go through a lot of Johnny's skill set. We're going to ask him five personal questions along with five professional questions. We shoot the five professional questions first, and then we do the shotgun questions at the end to give you kind of an outlook on his only his professional career, but also his personal preference with certain aspects of the questions that I ask him. Okay. So for tonight, we're gonna start off with Johnny. Where did you grow up?
All right. So boom. Right. I was born in New Haven,
Okay.
and
Oh.
when I was nine, we moved to North Carolina. So from the ages of
Hmm.
9 to 18, which is my formative years,
Hmm.
I grew up in North Carolina, and then after high school, I came back to Connecticut, and I've been having my adulthood experience in Connecticut only. So
Okay.
um, that's my that's my makeup right there.
So back and forth. So you got a little bit of the North and the South. So it
Exactly.
makes you well rounded in an aspect. You kind of got the beginning stages of your life down south, and then you came back up here to up north. How was it different in terms of temperament, people, and things like that?
Temperament. It's interesting because I think at that point in time in North Carolina, the people that were there weren't even from there. Like most people were already beginning to be transplants. I
Okay.
remember
Yeah. 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 Yep.
at one point, one of the teachers was like, "All right, raise your hand if you're from Charlotte," and like five people raised their hands. And then he's like, "All right, raise your hand if you're not." And it was like the other 20, like we all was just like, "We're
That
not
was
from."
probably the time because a lot of people,
Yeah.
even now, I think it's a lot of people are moving
Yeah.
down south that come from the north because it's just a different way of life, and
Right.
obviously there's a lot of different aspects of it financially, land, economics, just culture and things like that. So, as far as I know, North Carolina is a nice place. Every time I visited,
I hope.
so. Hmm.
I think as opposed to, I feel like more northeastern states are more compressed together. So we,
Yeah, 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 yeah. There's a lot more space. It's a lot more open,
Mhm.
and then culture and things like that are a lot different.
That's why they move so slow as opposed to us moving, trying to
Hmm.
go as fast as we
Hmm.
can.
A lot of my cousins and family from down south, they always say that. They always say like we always move fast, and our philosophy on the East Coast versus the West Coast, let alone the South, is like the term what they say is like we live to work, not work to live.
Right,
In the West
exactly.
Coast, they work to live. It's like they get their job, they do their thing, they get out, and then they're out in the sun, they're traveling, they're on the coast, they're on the beach, blah, blah, blah. Us, it's like we work, 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 work every day, got two or three jobs trying to make money, blah, blah, blah. So the hustler mentality has always been a little bit different from one coast to the other. Not that it's beneficial, but either way, there's,
Just
it's just different. So,
exactly.
besides just being an artist, because I know that you have a wide range of skill sets. We can go on forever. We always talk about things all this time, anime and things like that. But your foresight is you are a musician and artist, a music artist, so a rapper. Um, I like to consider you more of a well-rounded artist because you do a lot more than just rapping. So how'd you get into music?
It starts when I'm 6 years old and I hear "Through the Wire" by Kanye West for the first time.
Okay.
And I was in the back of my dad's. I think it was no, I think it was the Volvo. I was in the
Okay.
back of the Volvo, and I was like,
What is
"Why
that?
this feels like I'm living for the first time."
Mm.
And then it continued with 21 questions, and then it continued with um, "Dirt Off Your Shoulder."
Hmm.
It was like a continuous thing, and over time, I'm like, "Wow, this is like I love this.
You
I
love,
love
yeah.
how this feels when I hear it." And over time, I became I was like a music nerd. My mom would give me money
Mm.
to, you know, at school, but they didn't know that there was like sixth and seventh graders that had like burnt CDs selling them in class, and I was buying the burnt CDs for $2 because it was like all the Lil Wayne leaks
Okay.
that
Okay.
nobody would ever hear.
Most people
My
don't even know what little. I mean, some of the generation doesn't even know what a CD is at this point.
right, and I was literally buying illegally downloaded CD songs
Mm.
from an 11-year old as a 10-year old.
Mm.
So that was like it just I knew that I was willing to take risks for the music. I'm like, man, why do I feel this? Why do I feel this strongly about it? And as I grew and I started hearing more mature music and
Mm.
mature as in the topics that were covered were about anxiety and depression and
Yeah. Yeah.
real the realness of it all. I didn't even know that I was experiencing those things, but they put it into ways that I was able to understand it.
Hmm.
So then as I grow even more, I start writing poetry and then I start hearing beats and I say, wow, maybe if I try to rhyme on the beat, I could bada boom. And then um, all throughout high school, I had a reputation for being the person that would battle anybody,
Uh-huh.
students, classmates, therapist one time. It didn't matter. It was just like that. It was just something a part of me. And then I
Hmm.
had a friend named Jordan, and me and him just literally battled every day. Like he'll get me one day, I'll get him. But it was like a constant thing. So that became like a part of my DNA, like competition of what this thing is about, because that's how it started in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because of that, the way I wrote in high school, I started making like imaginary enemies so I can
Okay.
create competition. And now as I grew up and I finally got my first microphone and my stand and everything and it didn't work and I gave up and then I had to wait a whole another year after that to try again to build the confidence and I finally said I'm not giving this up until I figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I made one song that was trash,
Mm.
a few more that was terrible also. And then one day I I knew how to do it. It just happened because
Hmm.
I
Because you didn't
figured
give
out
up.
exactly.
You didn't
And
quit.
that was the beginning of me understanding my power of how truly infinite I am because I pushed through and got the result that I desired.
Yep.
And then as I got past that phase, I realized that even that version of me wasn't
Hmm.
as good as it could be. And then I started realizing, whoa, if that wasn't good, but I thought it was the best, then that means that that there's still limits that I can still push past. Like the sky is my beginning, it's not my limit.
Yeah.
That's where I start at.
Yeah.
And now I get to this point and in 2026 and between this year and last year, anything that I made before that, I can't comfortably listen to it because I know that I'm at least 10 times better than what I was when people first heard me. So
Hmm.
now I get uncomfortable hearing like, wow, like now I'm overly critiquing how I used to rap. People like these songs.
Yeah. 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 Of course. Yeah.
You know, I'm just
Hmm.
like, get that away from me, because I know that that was probably my third take on it, but I could have went to a 12th take and perfected it. So now I'm
Yeah.
pushing it from version ones and twos and threes. There's versions 15s of certain songs because I
Mm.
had to make sure that by the time it comes out, how I'm saying what I'm saying, it has to sound how I hear it in my head. So
Hmm.
that's how
Hmm.
that was my beginning of it all was just as a fan, and then but me being such a fan
Yep.
created my style because
Hmm.
I don't have a specific thing that I'm like only good at. It's like
Yeah.
it's elite in all aspects.
Yeah.
So before I became an artist, I was just a fan. So by the time I became an artist, the fan in me created the best versions of all my heroes
Mm.
with minimal weaknesses that they all carry because they all had them.
Yeah.
So now
Yep.
that's where I'm at. I may have answered it. I don't even know.
No,
Is
you
it?
answered it.
You
You
asked
answered
about
it.
it about
I let people rock. So it's like
yeah.
because you got to remember everybody that is an artist comes at their challenges in art a certain way. But I think everyone has the ability, and then they also have the struggles of the failures and the successes. You're not going to jump into anything in life and just get it off the rip. You're always going to have to get some of the learning curve, some of the bumps and bruises of the failures, and then all throughout everything, the successes and the failures you're going to learn. So
Right.
you have to kind of decide on what type of person are you? Are you a person that's going to go through, and are you just going to try it a couple of times and then quit, or are you
Yeah.
going to be a person that says, no, this is my goal. I'm going to keep trying it until hold on, until I don't know what that was. We'll have to edit that. The TV turned on. I'm gonna edit that out. But so I think that as an artist, you're gonna have to go through, your ups and downs, but you're also gonna have to deal with, you know, uh, getting to the point where you are happy and satisfied. And even then, like you said, you're gonna listen to the songs you made now and music that you made now, and then the music that you're making in 10 years, you're gonna think back and be like, I mean, some of those are good, but like, damn, I could have made it so much better. And that's the beauty of art. I had my last guest, um, Elizabeth Saunders. She's on MGM's From that show on MGM, and we were talking about artistry as an artist, and she made a very good point because she said, art is supposed to be flawed. It's not supposed to be perfect. If it was perfect, it wouldn't be art. Like the value of making that one missed stroke, or leaving that little edge missed, or something that you can tell a human made it, but it's so close that you can't really tell. That's what gains the value. If it was perfect, it's kind of like, where's the value of it? Where's the human part to it? Because we are all related to art.
Right.
So even with that, my next question is, as an artist, especially an artist that you can sing, you can make, like, write your own music,
Yeah.
you understand the concept of rap.
Right.
What do you think is the hardest challenge of any artist right now?
Um, how far they believe they can go.
Okay.
I don't think I don't think anything external even matters
Mm.
if you know that you can if you know that you can do anything. Because I
Hmm.
like once you feel that freedom, it
Yep.
doesn't even matter what forces exist.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the weapons will form, but they don't prosper if you don't believe that they will.
Hmm.
So I think that's the real only challenge because I don't have anything specifically tangible to say that I will get a Grammy in the next 2 years, but I know I will. I don't have any reason to believe that, like
Hmm.
in physical form, but I see it and I feel it already.
Yeah.
So that's what it's really about. And I could list a bunch of reasons why, but even as I'm saying that, it doesn't even feel right to even acknowledge it because it doesn't even matter to me what could go wrong in that scenario. I only
Yeah.
focus on what's right. I'm of the belief that you have to be delusional to truly get what you want in life.
Hmm.
Being
Hmm.
realistic a lot of times makes us settle, but then we keep having these thoughts, man, what if I really gave it all to that thing that I'm just naturally great at? What
Yeah.
if I, you know, um, and I'm fully giving into that idea. So
Yeah, yeah, and I mean that you make a great point because a lot of times there's been a couple people that have mentioned this type of ideology is like I remember one person that stands out in my mind is Steve Harvey. Whatever, everyone has their own opinions of different people, but I respect when people say things that kind of stand out to me,
right, yeah,
regardless of where it comes from. Because I look at any type of lesson that you learn. I don't. Everyone's belief system is different, but I kind of look at it like God is telling you through them, right?
right, yep,
So Steve Harvey said something that stood out to me. He said, "If you quit, you know the outcome, but if you continue and you don't quit, you don't know. So just having the ability to, even if you failed, if you tried something and you fail, the reality is, I'm not, and it's not word for word, but what he was basically saying is, if you quit something, you know you're not going to make it because
right,
you basically stopped.
got
But
it,
the reality of you trying to get something done, regardless of what is thrown at you, regardless of what people say, regardless of the doubts that you have for yourself and other people have on you, if you continue to do something, at least you tried. Denzel Washington has said it before. If you're not working, if you're not failing, you're not even trying. That's what
right,
he said. So it's
well,
kind of the same mentality. If you don't think about yourself, and you're not thinking that you can do something and you're just waiting around for something to happen, it's not going to happen. First off. Second off is if you're in the predicament, and it may not be something that everybody agrees on, but if you believe it, you should try it. It's your life. You know what I mean? It's every choice that you make is your choice. It's your timeline, I always say. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I know there's everyone comes at music a different way. I've seen people come now. It's a lot easier because you have outlets that you can put music on, you can get it streamed and so on. Back in the day, you had to actually make a CD, bring a CD to a label, hope that they listen to it, if they don't throw it away, and then
There's
hope
like
you get a
somewhere.
decent deal, right? So it's like the idea of how the world is changing also takes away a lot from the quality sometimes.
Right.
So my the whole idea right now is that you've got a lot of body of work. I've heard, I've downloaded, I have multiple of albums. I play it in the car
Yeah.
all the time. So, what is the next question? Is what is your newest project? Because I know you got a new project coming out. What
Yeah.
is your newest project?
So by the time this comes out, it'll be out. Because it drops at midnight. What's today? The yeah, 7:10.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
Sam. Yep.
so Selenelion is the name of the project.
Let's
This
go. Let's
is
go.
um, it's just pure rap. So my previous albums, I tried to have like a mixture of different styles of rap or different
Yep.
different elements of it that required me to be like real like R&B ish or whatever.
hmm
Or me trying to make like like whether it be trap, boom bap,
Okay.
like whatever. That's what I did before, but um, this is like ushering in a new era of really specifically concise projects.
Okay.
This the whole album sounds extremely cohesive. It's like it's all different versions of a similar sound, right?
Mhm.
Just bringing it back to the basics of great beats and great raps. Not even trying to do all the extra mumbo jumbo and
Yeah.
rigmarole.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I simplified it this
The
time.
trendy stuff. The
Yeah, yeah,
trends.
yeah.
Right.
I
Trends.
made the album that some beats are weird, but like
Okay.
they're rooted in boom bap. So it's like you still have that familiarity, but it's still unique enough to make you say like, "Whoa, this is something different."
Okay.
This project is about self discovery. Because I personally went through a major spiritual
Mm.
journey from January to March 18th. Like it's
Okay.
like a 77-day process um, that I purposely went on because I could tell that the energy that I was receiving in my life wasn't what I desired. So I had to figure out, all right, if this is what's happening, why, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got to really dive into me and figure out what this is about. And to bring it back to the title, Selenelion, um, people that know me know that I'm into like a myriad of things. It's just
Mm-hmm.
all the ologies and alities and all.
Yep. Yep.
I study all of it, and it
Mm-hmm.
compiles into who I am. Um, so Selenelion is a reference to when there's a lunar eclipse, you can see the sun and the moon above the horizon at the same time.
Nice.
Um, and if you bring it to astrology, the sun is who we present ourselves as. This is who we are, our ego. This is how we love, things of that nature. The moon represents the feminine, the who you are truly, the part of you that is intuitive. And if we lean too much to either one, we can have imbalance.
Yeah.
So the idea of Selenelion is if we work on our sun and our moon and love the parts, love all of it
Mm-hmm.
on both
Yep.
sides
Yep.
without shaming one or the other, then we can become the best versions of ourselves. We can become infinite. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it ties into like the larger universe that I'm building with my music. But
Yeah, yeah, because
also,
you have that's what I love about the whole ideology of what you've done. It
yeah,
reminds me a lot of like an anime like season or something. How it's like the character keeps getting arc and arc. Like me and you be
right,
talking Dragon
right,
Ball Z and as you're going up and they're getting a higher power level, it's like you're getting different colors and people
exactly.
are winning losing. So the ideology of that is pretty dope. And you kind of get the storylines. And I
Right.
always follow that. Like you always put that in your albums. That's dope.
Because I feel like
Does this one have it? Does this one have like the little cuts and like the little
oh
like
yeah.
sound bites and stuff like that?
So it's crazy because I did it in like a very like it's not direct with this one, right?
Okay.
So over the past like 9 months or 8 months, I've just been like on the internet, like received like just learning as much information as possible. And then
Yep.
sometimes some stuff is related to progression in life, or is there something funny that is ironically enough inspirational. So
Hmm.
I've been compiling things to save for projects.
Hmm.
Instead of making like direct things, it's like a representation of how my brain works.
Okay.
I hear like all these different things that have made me up to be who I am. So when you hear the album, you'll just get what I think of, what I'm thinking, like what inspired this song,
Okay.
what inspired this train of thought. Um,
But they're not like the other ones where it's like a cohesive story. Like you started and at the end of the album, it's like, okay, I got you. Yeah, yeah.
like there's no script this time.
Okay.
And
That's
usually,
dope.
I write a script and I,
Yep. Yep.
get my characters or whatever. But this time was more of it. Like the story exists, but it's not like it's like you kind of have to catch it. You
Okay.
have to like really like listen to it, and
I
that's
like that.
what the album is. Also, right? This one
Mm.
is important because it's the first time I didn't dumb myself down at any moment.
Mm. Mm.
I've been saying like niggas got to smarten up. You know, I'm not dumb. I can't dumb myself down. You got to smarten up. So the people that catch what I'm saying,
They'll understand it. Yeah.
yo, this is the craziest shit ever,
Yeah.
yo, right?
Yeah.
The people that don't will be so intrigued by the other elements that they'll want to know what's happening.
Yeah. Mm.
So, the album title, no one knows what that fucking means besides me. Of course, why do I know
No,
that?
I always say the beauty of art is
Yeah,
that and in any community of artists can relate to this.
right.
And me and you talk, the drawing, the acting, music,
Yeah,
it all kind of comes all together. But the reality is that you have your communities that particularly like this particular aspect of art. These are the painters, these are the singers, these are the rappers, this is the illustrator, and so on. But in every aspect of art, the way that they look at it is someone is going to understand what you're talking about. And whoever sees that, it's going to be a project for them where they're going to be like, this is the craziest stuff I've ever heard. Or this is this is dope how he put that together. Oh, I didn't know that he knew about this. So
right.
you'll always touch on something that someone out there knows about the stories that you're telling, and
Exactly.
those are the people that are going to relate the most to it. Outside of like, I like the beat for this song, or I like the concept of this song, but like certain people, they really get it and they relate. That's the community that's going to fill this
Absolutely.
particular album. So
Yeah. Like by me giving into like comfortability within myself and like
yeah,
loving myself for the first time.
yeah,
Now it's like I don't even the reason why I didn't dumb myself down is because I don't care who doesn't like it.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's only about who is with me. You know, that's how it is in my personal life, and that's
Hmm.
how it is in my art. That's just me in general because I can't waste energy on who's not around. That
Yeah,
just it takes away from who is around,
yeah.
right? Because
You
it was
get
a
it. You put it like this.
yeah
Because we're family.
yeah
And I try to give you as much advice as like an older brother,
right
basically, right? But that's something that a lot of older people, they fall into that gap. You get
yeah
into a space where you just like you don't care. You've worked hard enough to you've gone through I gotta be a certain way, I gotta dress a certain way, I gotta act a certain way. At a certain point, you don't give a shit. It's just like it's me. I can tell if you're with me, and I can tell if you're not. It's very clear. It ain't like I got to go around and figure it out. If at a certain point, you can be like, I would say like more manipulated or tricked because you're trying to do something or you're hoping that this is what it is. But at a certain point, you're just like, no, this is what it is, and you have to
exactly
make moves. That's just how it is. So this is a great lesson for you at your age because you're 10 steps ahead of the other guys your age that haven't gotten that lesson. It's a lesson that gives you wisdom. That's really what it is. And
yeah
usually wisdom comes from age because you've lived through it. You know what I mean? You understand it. You've gone through it in your lifetime. So that mentality will keep you really grounded because you're not catering to what people say or what
right
they want. It's you're being who you are, and authenticity is like one of the greatest currencies now that's overlooked. Like someone just being who they are, and that's what people like. So
absolutely
kudos to you. Just keep doing that. Don't fall into the bullshit. That's what I say. Don't fall into it.
yeah do it.
So my last professional question is, I ask everyone the same thing. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? You've got a lot of skills. We talk offline. You got a lot of things going on. But where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Touring. Wait, hold on. Wait, 5 years? Well,
Yeah,
give me a second.
5 years.
I'm like going through like my plans for my music.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's based on that. I'll be coming off tour.
Coming off tour from the first tour? Or how
Second
many
tour.
tours? Second
My
tour?
second tour.
Okay. Okay. So still in music, touring. Any awards, any lifestyle changes?
I mean, but 5 years, that's
Yep.
when I really want to have like a really good 4 episode spot on a great TV show.
Okay. You gonna get into
Like,
acting.
like it's like the beginning of people understanding what's going on here.
Okay.
'Cause by that time, like 5 years, I'll have like a great list of catalog. Between that time, that's just
Mm-hmm.
like three,
Mm-hmm.
4 projects. So yeah, it's like it'll be like I can take a break from the music.
And you're
That
gonna try to pivot into something else. My boy
because
June Archer, he always
yeah,
says he's one of my mentors, and he always told me the same thing. You got to pivot, Bridge. You got to learn. He learned that from Mike, and then he was saying how like the idea he got was always to move, always to try to kind of get an idea of where you're going in your life, and if something doesn't happen, you got to be able to pivot. And if you're not able to pivot, that means you're not prepped beforehand. So you're always learning, you're always doing something, and you always have like a clear cut. That's why I always ask. In 5 years, just for statistically, in 5 years you can basically to an ideal, you can master anything in 5 years. You can master a language, you can master martial arts, you can master a degree. There's a lot of different things that like 5 years kind of stands out. And in 5 years is a big jump in terms of life as well. From 30 to 35 is way different. 35 to 40 is way different. So it's kind of like the idea of every 5 years you should think about where are you going to be in 5 years? And if you prep now, by the time you get there, you're planning for the next one. And you've already gotten those steps. So you constantly are moving, you're constantly moving. So that's
right.
the reason why I always ask that. So keep that in mind. You have a great plan with what you're doing in your career. I only hope the best. And like always, and you need anything from me, I always will help out. There's no issues with that. And then, I just pray all the time for success for you because I've seen the hard work, I've seen the dedication, and then I know the talent too. I mean, it's sometimes when you have people that you're related to or you have people that it's kind of like your bias because you kind of know them. You're like, oh, it's song set. But like, there's certain songs like, I'm not gonna use your government.
You're
I'm
right.
not gonna use your government. So that's
All right.
Johnny, right? That's
Yeah,
Johnny. I was
for
like,
sure.
oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. The first time I heard the album, I was like, wait, that's him? That's him
Right.
rapping? I didn't know he could do
Mhm.
that. So it's totally different when you see it
Yeah.
and then you see the dedication and then I give you respect because as an artist, a fellow artist, I can understand and I know the groundwork, the grinding that people don't really see.
Right.
And you understand that as well. There's so much that goes into just that particular aspect of your life, let alone all the other things you still got to handle in order to get those things done. So you got to keep dreaming, keep staying focused, and keep your attitude the way it is.
Absolutely. For sure.
So now, with all of that, those are my five professional questions. So now we're gonna get into the shotgun questions,
Oh,
and these are like your preferences if you like this or that,
okay.
and you can elaborate as much as you want, or you can make them as short as you want. Okay.
Got it.
So we'll start right off the jump. Who is a better performer?
Okay.
Okay, better performer.
All right. I'm nervous.
MJ or Prince?
Are we serious? um, Prince,
Prince. Okay. Okay.
because he just had more of an array of things that he could do.
Mm, okay.
What Mike
Okay.
did was the best of what he did,
Yeah.
but just from a variety standpoint alone, I'll give it to Chris.
Okay. Okay. Like I said, any of these questions you can't really go wrong with, but it's just to
Right.
get that kind of idea of where your minds and your space is with certain things like that.
Absolutely. I got you.
Okay, next. I love comics.
Come on now. I'll go with
Team Marvel or Team DC?
Marvel. Good question.
Some of these I already know what you're gonna say,
Come
but
on now.
it's good for the audience to understand what
God, hip
you're
hop,
saying.
and Marvel.
There you go. There you go. All right. Next, better director. Okay, better director of film. Uh, Spielberg or Cameron?
Spielberg.
Spielberg. Okay. Okay. All right. Who is the GOAT? LeBron or Jordan?
What do we? Come on, man. I'm like, we ain't got to finish that question. It's the king, kid.
There you go. There you
Show me
go. I
one.
know. I know some people are happy. Some people aren't. But I
Yeah,
gotta get. I gotta ask you a question because every.
yeah, of
I try to give a little bit of every genre, little genres.
course, of
Okay.
course. It could have been 15 comics questions. I would have. That's what I'm waiting for.
Well, I got the last one. I think that would stand out because we got a couple of things.
Okay.
Um, but I wanted to have something that was catering to rap.
Yeah.
And obviously, the one of the greatest debates or arguments are these two, right? Who is a better rapper? Who is the better rapper? Jay-Z or Nas?
JC.
Jay-Z.
I don't think it's close.
Okay. Okay.
Not and again, right?
Well, you know why? Because when we were going into high school, that was the big thing.
Yeah, of course.
And that was
Yeah.
when Set popped off because they were friends before that, and once it popped off, it kind of opened up a lot of doors with
Yeah.
a lot of beefs and stuff like that. But it was a lot of beef in time. So
Because everybody was trying to figure out who the king of New York would be after Biggie died.
yeah,
Oh, because
yeah.
at that point it was obviously that Biggie was,
Hmm.
everybody was vying for it, and even though
Yeah.
Nas dropped Illmatic and it was written, it still didn't matter because Ready to Die and Biggie's reign at that point was just too like
Hmm.
impactful, like across every type of
Yeah.
demographic. So after Biggie died, and then Jay Z dropped Reasonable Doubt in Volume One and Volume Two, and then you got DMX dropping It's Dark and Hell is Hot and Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. Again, Nas dropped Illmatic, it was written, and then the Firm album,
Hmm.
I Am and Nostradamus. And then
Everybody's trying to get.
you got Wu Tang
I mean,
Clan, you got the
it's
Rock,
kind
you
of like
got
you don't know who was going to win. That was the thing. We didn't know who was going to win, but then after a certain point, we're like, okay, I
right.
see where this one's going. I see where this one's going to be. I see where
Yeah,
this was going to go. So it's always been a debate. I think even to this day,
yeah.
the only other one, I guess you get a bonus one, but I already know what you're going to say. With the recent beefs of like Drake and Kendrick, like it's kind of like the kids that see that now will be talking about it when they're my age. Like, oh, I remember when,
Yeah.
Drake was
It
like
broke.
this and Kendrick was like that, and this one does this better, blah, blah, blah. So it's always been, and it probably always will be, hopefully, to keep things. Because I think that beef, unfortunately, I know there's a lot of intangible. I don't know all the details behind the personal stuff, but I think that beef created a focus on rap where they pushed each other. So they
Yeah,
got better from like
yeah.
dealing with each other's, attitude and stuff. I don't know how the relationship is now, but it was definitely something that stood out during the
It's,
time.
in the words of in the words of Drake, um, I probably hold a grudge against you guys till I'm 75. It's not ever gonna happen. This is they gonna be 84.
Still rappers still hate each other.
Just if they see each other with their canes outside,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be
Someone
fist.
get pushed in the street. It's gonna be
Yeah,
one of them.
yeah,
Pushed into traffic.
yeah. Because even with that specific beef, I don't know. I have like a nuanced perspective of it all. But
Mm.
either way, um, I'm thankful for them both.
Yeah. Yeah.
And J. Cole's my favorite rapper, so obviously
Mhm.
him. Um, that whole thing was like it was cool, and then it became like the worst thing to ever happen in hip hop. So they just literally ruined all types of discourse,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
even on either side for that matter. So, um, but I don't know. I feel like things. I don't know if it was a net negative or positive. I know people were like caring more about rapping
Hmm.
again, but I don't know about hip hop's space right now. Anyway, it feels deflated, and I feel like that's
Hmm.
on purpose. But
Well,
that's all.
you got to think, right? With anything in life, you got the stock market, you got economics, you got the housing market, you got the sporting event. Anything that is of great focus always
Yeah.
has like they have the peaks and valleys, right? So they always have like a down point. Even, I mean, you think about it even with politics, right? You have presidents that do great things, and you got presidents that are kind of like, and then you got presidents do, terrible things, and then it's like, So it kind of keeps going like this.
Has to,
But
yeah.
at the same way is that with any type of art form,
Hmm.
someone has to like pop up where it's like a challenge. And I remember seeing this over the years. Like there was
Right.
always like it would be like regular people rapping, and all of a sudden someone would stand out. Then all of a sudden, people would kind of mimic their stuff, and then someone would stand out. I mean, unfortunately, you can be or have your opinions about different people, rappers, right? But I remember, even from my age, Biggie and Pac, right? That was like the biggest thing before Jay-Z and Nas. Biggie and Pac, they were two different rappers. They kind of encompassed all these different rappers, Snoop and all of them. And then you had the whole change of Jay-Z. Jay-Z comes, right? And then
Sure.
the uh you got 50. 50 comes, changes everything. And then you got Drake. Like that, unfortunately, I mean, you could say what you want to say, but Drake kind of changed that whole philosophy
Yeah.
with rappers that are singers. Because when I was in high school and 50 came out, it was like the total opposite. It was like, how is he rapping and singing? And that was whole 50's beef with Ja Rule and like how that worked. Now, Ja would have been competing with Drake if he came out at the same time. And it's kind of like weird that it's accepted, but at the same time, I understand that's how art evolves. It just becomes whatever the genre and the generation values or they
The
like.
person to do something is always crucified first.
Oh yeah,
So
of course. Yeah.
even if it is something that could be great,
Hmm.
if you're the first person to break from the usual,
Yep.
you're going to be they're going to try to denigrate you
Yep.
because you're just breaking from the norm,
Hmm. Hmm.
breaking the status
And
quo.
and I remember seeing that, and I respected both avenues. You
Yeah.
got 50 that was like pure rapping beats. He
Yeah.
had a whole bunch of hits. You got Ja that was a rapper, had hits, and then he started being like a heart. He said himself, "I'm harmonizing," right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And it was like either you were one way or the other, and then you got an artist that did both, and it was accepted by a vast majority of people.
It
But
was the
now
perfect
you
time.
got everybody that's trying to do that, like you said. Even
Yeah.
certain songs, to a certain degree that you made, it was kind of like you wanted to make sure that you were able to do it, and someone could hear that you could do it that way.
Absolutely.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's always a beautiful thing how art evolves. You have to give respect how it is as a whole. That's all
All
I'm
right.
saying. So
Yeah. And it's funny, right? Because my one of my other favorite rappers, his name's JID, and he was
okay.
talking about the fact that somebody was asking him like, "Yo, who do you listen to?" And he was like, "I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't listen to no lyrical rappers."
Mm.
Meanwhile, right, in my opinion, JID is probably one the best or second best lyricist in all of hip hop right
Oh
now.
yeah.
He was
Okay.
like, bro, lyricists don't listen to lyrical rappers. So people would be surprised about who I listen to because it's
Hmm.
like the exact opposite of who I am as a rapper. Like I listen to Playboy Cardi, Young
Mm.
Thug, a lot of Future, Gunna,
Yeah, not the same.
yeah, from Kodak
Not
Black.
the
It's
same. Yeah.
like that's I don't make nothing like any of that.
Hmm.
But it just you need that other part
Yeah.
to be
It's
able to
always
feel who
it's
you
so
are.
wild, and we
Yeah,
talk about it all the time. It's like in the search of having a balanced thought process and balanced life in general, but you can't ever get balanced. It's like
yeah,
you're always trying to, but you can't ever get there.
right.
So it's kind of like as you're trying to get there, you're getting all the things that you didn't have, but like you live your whole life trying to get to that point where you actually are a complete balanced person. Some people get
And
really close,
yeah,
but
I
it,
think that
it's
I
a
also learned
process.
that for me to get where I want to go, I can't be balanced. It's like I have to have intentional imbalance.
Yeah,
Like I have to really go crazy with with the music. I
yeah,
have to because
yeah.
um, I know what is. I know that's the launch pad to freedom for me. Like that's my gateway to abundance is the music.
Mm, mm,
So if I'm giving 75% to music, but I'm 25% elsewhere, but I can just give 100.
yeah,
Now I'm like, okay, it's not a matter of time; it's a matter of intention. It
yeah.
doesn't matter. Like time, I can collapse the timeline if
Hmm.
I was to give all of it right now. Like it
And,
is like,
and and if you're in the position, that's the other blessing too. If you're in the
right,
position
yeah,
that you don't have to do X, Y, and Z. You can concentrate on that. Do it. Like
right,
that's my only advice.
right,
Do it. Don't concentrate on focus and put everything into it because just like how I was saying originally with Denzel, Steve Harvey, anyone that gives that philosophy, I think even Will Smith to certain degrees have said
yep,
something along those lines.
yep,
But if you're trying and you're doing it 100%, you know that if you stop, it's not going to happen.
exactly.
You know, if you say tomorrow, you know what, I'm done with music,
I'll
I'm
hate
not gonna
myself
try
forever.
it. You know it's not gonna happen.
Right,
But if you keep trying, and the only other outcome is it happens.
right,
That's the only other outcome. So if you're okay with trying and it not working, the only other outcome is you get things done. You succeed in what you wanted, and that's what I say. Just go for it. Don't let that other stuff get in your mind. Just go for it. So.
right.
Just like always, I appreciate you.
Sure.
There's always love. Anything you need from me, you let me know. And the main thing about this interview is people to get an insight on how talented you are, what your skills are. To pick your mind, pick your brain, but also if someone's trying to get in contact with you, they're trying to put you on, or they're trying to give you an idea, or they're trying to reach out. How do they reach out and get in touch with you?
The main way right now is Instagram for short.
Okay.
I'm chronically on there. Just surfing information, of course. Johnny Infinite underscore JOHNNYINFINITE underscore Johnny Infinite underscore.
There you go. Okay.
I like
Awesome.
it.
Awesome. So, like I said before, I appreciate you being on the show. I will
Yeah,
definitely do my best with putting it all together. So we try to get it in correlation to when everything is released, give you some more exposure. And then, like I said before, just reach out to me if you need any advice, if you need anything from me. You know where I am. I'm always in your corner, and I'm always rooting for you. And I just want,
sure,
I always pray that blessings and success come your way. All right.
sure.
Keep doing your thing, and I appreciate everything you do. All right. I'll
I
check you
appreciate
later.
it. Have a good one.
All right now. Peace.